Oh my god. I'm gonna die. I'm dying, guys. I'm just slowly dying. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you guys are new. If you guys have no idea who I am or my background or anything, I am a professional freelance makeup artist. I usually upload a lot of makeup artist content that help people build their businesses, help with makeup application techniques, and also do makeup artist vlogs as well. So if you guys are interested in content like that, then definitely go ahead and subscribe to the channel. As you can tell, I'm going to actually be reacting to another YouTuber who literally all she does is just go to these worst rated makeup artists. But before I begin, I'm gonna pop up the fair use disclaimer on my screen really quickly. I'm going to obviously be going at this from a makeup artist perspective, mainly from hygiene perspectives, but then also application techniques. This is a YouTuber called Judy D. Okay, and I'll be stopping and pausing and giving my input like as we're going, so hang tight.
I take an appointment, Linda's, with this makeup artist, and I sit on that chair for approximately
30 minutes.
Why should you have to wait 30 minutes if you have an appointment set with the person? That just shows the makeup artist is very disorganized. Whenever I have appointments and my clients show up for those appointments, I'm always set, ready to go, have my station set up. I already have my hands washed and everything, and literally all they have to do is sit down in my chair and I just begin the application. Nobody should ever have to wait 30 minutes for an appointment. She's like, finally. Also, I think she's based out of Ecuador, so I do understand that culturally they're a lot different than the United States. So I apologize ahead of time if anything comes off culturally insensitive, but in my mind, I'm just going at this from a makeup artist perspective.
So he does my eyebrows, nothing really special. I like them. They're nice. Nice eyebrows.
I love her sound effects. First of all, hopefully he cleans up the eyebrows because they're way too long. Normally when you do eyebrows, you want to stop right where the corner of your eye is. And then if you draw a line going diagonal this way, that is where your brow is actually supposed to stop. And hers just goes all the way down to her temple. So hopefully he cleans it up. I feel like the powder he's using is maybe a little bit warmer than it should be, so she needs more of a taupey kind of color. But besides that though, I mean, I feel like the brow shape is pretty good.
But anyway, he takes out a painting brush. He puts this white product on my eyes, literally white. It's not concealer. I cannot call this concealer.
Okay, so I use the P. Louise bases to prime people's eyelids, but why is he going in with like a super large brush? He's going in with like a flat foundation brush before her eyes, and also put on way too much. Like, that is a lot of product, and it literally looks like it's a cream foundation that he put on her eyelids. I have a feeling that that's going to be way too emollient, and so in the long run, that would probably transfer really bad.
This is white paint. Anyway, it doesn't really matter because he takes an entire blob of shadow, but he wipes the paint with an incredibly clean sponge, never used before.
Oh my gosh, I don't know if you guys can see this, but that sponge is nasty. Like, it's the sponge that probably comes underneath the little powder container that you flip up, and then you have the little sponge in there. That doesn't even look like it was washed. I mean, I'm pretty sure that sponge is supposed to be white, and it's like a yellow color, and it looks so gross. It looks like they've literally never washed this powder puff. Oh my gosh, there's so much bacteria. It's not supposed to be like an eyeshadow like she said. I think it's supposed to be a foundation powder, and he's trying to set her eyelids like in place to have the creams not move around, which is a normal application technique, but normally you have to go in with either their actual skin tone color or you go in with a translucent powder because that's the easiest, so you don't have to actually sit there and match foundation powders. But yeah, it just looks like an eyeshadow because it's about 5 shades darker than what it needs to be.
Slaps it on my eye. He starts doing my eyes. Everyone, he starts doing my eyes. Congratulate him, please. It's been an hour.
So he's actually using the Too Faced Natural Love palette, which I really like. Too Faced does really good at eyeshadows, and I do like that palette a lot. If he actually has the right application techniques, then it should come out okay.
To be fair, it doesn't really look bad, you know? It doesn't look bad.
Okay, I'm really hoping that he takes a fluffy brush and like cleans up around the edges. It literally just looks like somebody went like this with a pencil. I think it's also sticking to the cream that he used underneath because he used way too much of it, so it's really thick and everything's just sticking.
So he puts the biggest amount of black eyeshadow on my eye. No blending at all. And he doesn't at all make it fit my eye, so he doesn't really work around the shape of my eye. It's just something generic from his mind.
Her sound effects just get me. As she pointed out here, he didn't really take into account her eye shape. She does have a little bit more hooded eyes. She has a lot more lid space than I do, of course. But when you have hooded eyes like this, you really need to make sure that you ask your clients to open their eyes every now and then, or even draw on where you need to put the crease color when the eyes are completely open, just so you have a good idea of where the eyeshadow is supposed to fall at. You can't just do a generalized look for every single person, especially if they have different eye shapes. You have to alter your technique depending on the client that you have sitting in your chair. So I am glad that she realizes that he made that mistake too.
So now we're looking like Batman.
Okay, I think he's using the Anastasia Subculture palette. If you guys have been following makeup trends for a really long time, the Anastasia Subculture palette was literally the talk of like 2015 or something. It was literally the worst eyeshadow palette to come out of that year pretty much because it did not match the formula. It was talc based instead of mica based like the normal Anastasia palettes, and the world in the beauty community literally erupted. It was so bad because what happens is they're so pigmented and so chalky to the point where there's a ton of fallout that happened, and it's so pigmented to the point where you put it on your actual eye and then it sticks to that one patch and then is really patchy when you try to blend it out. It takes a lot of effort to try to work with it. So if you have a person that isn't a super skilled individual at applying eyeshadows, and even if you are, it still takes a really long time to be able to do.
Thing is, the more he blends, the more it goes up and higher. Never mind, he just adds more.
Okay, so if you can see right there at the outer corner, he's missing a patch, because that's literally what is happening with this palette, is that if you sit there and blend it like a normal eyeshadow, it literally gets patchy super quickly. You have to use pressing motions as opposed to swiping and buffing, and you can't go in too hard.
He takes the paint again and he conceals in a God knows what shape that is. You know, I don't know what he was going for. He didn't conceal, he concealed half my...
Can we talk about the fact that they look like eyeballs on her eyeballs? Okay, hopefully he turns this into a cut crease or like halo eye or something.
That's deep.
Oh.
Come on. Look, we do.
This looks like one of those freaking fish with the black and the gold stripes. If I find a picture of it, I'll put it up here, but it looks like one of those fish. Okay, another pet peeve of mine as a makeup artist, he's dipping in directly into the creams with a brush. For hygiene reasons, you never want to dip into creams directly because they harbor a whole bunch of bacteria. You always want to scoop them out with a spatula, put them on a palette, work off the palette, and then you sanitize the whole entire thing. Spraying alcohol on creams does not sanitize them because it's too emollient for that. It'll just sit on top and not go into the actual product. He also went in with a color that's way too light for her skin tone too.
Oh my god.
What is going on?
So he conceals my inner eye, which, okay, kind of makes sense, I guess. Usually people would just normally put a lighter shadow, maybe highlighter, but he just went on and he connects the dots with my nose. So now we look like a dinosaur. You guys, the grip he had on my head.
Okay, I hate when makeup artists do this. There's some makeup artists that literally vice grip people's heads, and I think that's so unprofessional. I think they feel the need to like steady themselves or something, or maybe they don't know what to do with their opposite hand. But at the same time, just put it next to you, put it on your hip. On the other hand, the shape that he made on her actual inner corner of her eye with concealer, I don't understand. Because he literally cut off the inner corner of her eye.
You know, that's it. He is a painter. He's a painter, he's an artist. Look at the...
Okay, I like how he didn't even clean up the fallout all the way with a makeup remover wipe or anything. Literally just brushed away with the other brush, but the Anastasia pigments are way too pigmented that it's going to stain like that, and then he's going in with a concealer, I'm guessing, before he wipes the fallout. So my prediction is that it's going to turn like a black under eye mess, and then he's going to keep going in with concealer to try to conceal it, because that would be what an inexperienced makeup artist would do. They just keep trying to add more products onto things to make it fixable when you should have just known your techniques to begin with.
Linda's, come on.
And black. That's what I predicted right there. And I also noticed that he's going in with a color correcting wheel for this concealer. It has all these pink, green, lavender color correctors, and then this is the lightest shade that is in the color correcting palette.
Why is it so light? Why is it so light?
I'm guessing that in Ecuador, people are a little bit tanner there. I noticed that this artist is a little bit more tan. They kind of maybe are around my skin complexion. It also gets a lot of sun there. So I'm guessing they don't see a lot of people that are of lighter skin tones. I've noticed whenever she goes to these places in Ecuador especially, they don't carry a lot of lighter foundation shades. And whenever they try to match her complexion, it either comes out super, super fair because they almost like overcompensate for it. And usually their foundations are a lot darker than her complexion because it's almost like they can't cater to all skin tones and don't know how to match and mix the different foundations to get her correct shade. Also, I just noticed that he is using this sponge that is also real crusty, like literally is stained on there. If you use a beauty blender, gift them to your clients or just throw them away because at this point in time, they're super disgusting. Yeah, so he's trying to create that like elongated fox eye kind of look. And also he blended up way too high with the black eyeshadow. Oh my god. Okay, so I just want to point out the fact that I don't even think he used a foundation. I think he just used the concealer all over her face, which is also going to look really heavy and really cakey. The concealer is really light underneath her eyes, and I can see that gray cast from the eyeshadow left over, as I said before, so he keeps adding more concealer, as I predicted. And now he's using a bronzer that is way too dark for her complexion. Like, can you see it literally, like, caking up on the side? Like, it's so old that the fact that it's literally lost all of its moisture and started separating from the outside of the container. Oh my god. I'm screaming.
Okay, whoa, that was a very big step forward. Oh my god, what is happening? Help. Help. You know, if I thought I had a headache before, now I have a freaking concussion. He was so rough, it was incredible. And I remember very well he pulled out a hair, literally, because of—
Oh my gosh, he's literally just scrubbing her face like you would with a loofah in the shower. That's gotta feel so bad. Like her head's literally moving back and forth because it's so rough. Oh, I feel so bad for her. I just want to give her a really good application. I wish she lived in the US.
And I don't even think it blended to the point where he was just like, you know what? He just left it.
Yeah, because the product's so old at the fact that it's literally not blending out anymore. It also doesn't look like he wet the sponge or anything. I think he's just going in with a dry sponge, which is like 10 times worse.
And he puts powder over it. I don't know what the thought process was behind that. Now that's cake. What am I looking at? I don't even recognize myself. So this was definitely—
Yeah, so he went in with a darker powder. I think it was the same powder that he used on her eyes. It turned her face a completely different color. Like, he should have just stopped.
I thought he put a kilogram of powder under my eyes. And I guess you could tell as well that he corrects the part where he cut my crease from the very beginning and he just adds more of the shadow that was supposed to be in my crease.
Oh my god. Okay, so first of all, I can already tell that the glue is still wet. You have to wait till the glue gets tacky and dries down a little bit before you apply eyelashes because otherwise they're going to go all over the place. And they are not cut to the right length to the point where they're probably going to look kind of droopy on her eyes because they're going to be a little bit too long on the outer corners, I can already tell. Oh my gosh, guys, this is also a sign of a really inexperienced makeup artist too. His hands were like shaking. It's very nerve-wracking to apply lashes when you first begin as a makeup artist, and it's kind of just something habitually that you kind of get over. I can tell that he has not done this very many times in his life. Also, I never apply lashes to people when people's eyes are completely closed because it has a tendency to stick to the bottom eyelashes. Oh my gosh, her eyes are so red. I feel so bad for her.
Oh my god. Okay, so he did use lashes. He put lashes, which is a rare thing for a worst review to have lashes on their hand, but obviously because this one's much more on the higher end of the price scale, so he did have lashes with him, but the freaking way he applied them, I don't know.
Oh, now we're applying eyeliner. Okay, next hygiene issue that I have. Liquid eyeliners. There's no way to sanitize liquid eyeliners. Like, even if you spray down the tip with alcohol, you still can't really sanitize them to the fullest potential. So you have to use one of those little applicators. I usually use a gel liner personally that comes in a pot. Of course, it's a cream, so you scoop it out with a spatula, put it on a palette, and work off of there. That way nothing actually contaminates the eyeliner. But yeah, liquid liners are definitely no-no, especially felt tip liners. Those are the worst because they literally are a sponge Sponges absorb bacteria and you can't get them clean. And also he's drawing on that liner way too thick. Like he didn't even like ask her to open her eyes before to figure out how thick he needed to place the liner, because this is gonna cover up like her whole entire lid space. Literally her eyelashes are just like hanging off the side of her face.
They stayed on. Plus, I'm pretty sure they don't look like they're put correctly. I mean, look at the second eye. It looks weird.
She noticed too. Okay, another no-no sanitation-wise, he's going in with an applicator directly from the tube. This is why we have little disposable spoolies, because we cannot double dip or use the applicators. So many eye infections.
You know, we instantly go to put something right, like in my waterline. I was really struggling at this point.
Okay, can we talk about the fact that this pencil literally has 0 pigmentation? He's pushing so hard and nothing is coming out. That means it's so old or very bad quality, but I'm guessing it might be just old. He's also not giving her enough time to blink. That's one mistake also that inexperienced artists do. They don't pull back every now and then to make sure they can blink, otherwise people's eyes start watering. Luckily, Judy D has gone through this before and she's not super sensitive on her waterline, just because she's had so many things happen to her over time that I think she's kind of just gotten used to it after a while. I think he was trying to apply a highlighter on her, but the highlighter was like way too dark. Again, I think that in Ecuador, they're used to people with more tan complexions, and that highlighter would normally work for people with a tan to deep complexion. But since she is more fair skinned, it kind of just went on like a really bronzy blush. Okay. He's going straight in with the applicator. That's so gross. Oh my god. I'm gonna die. I'm dying, guys. I'm just slowly dying. Like, luckily this video is almost over. I'm actually not hating the lip combo that he did. He did like a darker berry kind of lip liner with a more light tone nude color. It actually really complements her skin tone, but I would not pair it with the color of eyes that he did. From a far distance, the eyes actually don't look bad. Oh, never mind. I stand corrected. In daylight, it looks so much worse. That's why lighting is really important for makeup artists. I can definitely tell that the concealer or primer or whatever it was supposed to be was way too freaking light for her actual skin tone. So it's white now because he used a darker foundation, so it's even more heavily contrasting now. Now I can also tell that one brow is thinner than the other one and they're not the same shape. He created a really weird shape for her eyeshadow because he took that concealer in the inner corner of her eye and just didn't continue the eyeshadow after that. I can tell that he clearly used more blush slash bronzer on one side rather than the other side. The nose contour is all sorts of messed up. I think the only saving part of this might be the lips, but I probably would have maybe thrown on a little bit of like a lip conditioner or a lip balm before I started with the application, because I could tell that her lips were a little bit drier, which is completely fine, but you just have to know by looking at your client initially what prep steps you should do. Went in with a liquid lipstick, something that dries to a matte, and it made them look even more dry than it was originally. The lashes also aren't applied correctly, and also chosen a different style of lash for her as well. I just felt like these are a little bit too heavy for her eyes, so they're kind of dragging her whole entire eye shape down. The other thing they could have done is possibly use an eyelash curler and just curl them really quickly, so at least they lift up a little bit more, but right now they're just kind of drooping down and looking sad. Oh my gosh, okay. So I obviously have not seen her skin without makeup close up before. It looked like she had really smooth skin to begin with, so I don't understand. It's like he went in with this cream foundation or concealer or whatever it was, and it literally emphasized every single pore and texture that she didn't even have originally on her face. He didn't even clean up the glue in the outer corner. There's an eyelash that is stuck to her nose on the other side that probably has lash glue on it. There's also a lot of fallout going on. Since there's a lot of fallout with that eyeshadow palette, I probably would have gone in with the under eye first before I even put on the face makeup. Yeah, her lips look so dry, and her pores, oh my goodness, her poor skin. He just aged her by about 10 years, and I just don't understand. Okay guys, that is about it for this video. I will be linking Judy D's YouTube down below. If you guys like this sort of video and me reacting to other makeup artists' work, then definitely let me know and I can make this into an entire series. Definitely go ahead and give me a big thumbs up here, and also subscribe to my channel if you guys haven't already. As always, I hope you guys are having an absolutely fantastic day, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. All right, bye.